Welcome to Ruang Global Media. Academy Denki. We are just going to do what they call critical overview about the presentation that was done by Chief Administrator for Ruang Administrative Area. Kwayen Kanaka shared the will cost for will ban lada iku and chi when we have presentation loy one along the seventh governor forums one Jibo on the 30th of last month. Well, can in a book yam tine call, but before we do that, kayoke audio de and mukon yam chan backping ku book your van ladi badin NKK all critical overview or summary of the presentation that were done by the chief administrator. Kayen without an almost in the law badin. Could you allow and they could be Martin Abung or Kaba who join on this forum? Very short. We are not going to talk much about that because the audio then when and bogo can chat ko kwain and broliap ku backping audio the ban but then about you ku via audio jam then we will do the critical overview. Kwayen we will check a late can be denki by most of the band joined by then is on the way coming. Okay, jam the band wheel, number well play. So bear with me and just hear the audio.
On how do we have a paradigm shift from traditional farming method, shifting to a kind of mechanized farming in order to increase production and accelerate economic growth. So the tractors you are seeing, these are tractors we procured, will be deployed, but this time our approach is going to be different because we have seen so many tractors, but ending up doing nothing. So we are going to organize cooperatives under this, and we will make sure that these are assigned so that they are able to sustain and also maintain them. Always it is to partners that are providing seeds and tools. We were hit by locusts and grasshoppers, and our farmers planted almost 3 times. We had a reserve of seeds that we stored as a government. When this happened, we were able to intervene where we distributed not less than 2 metric tons of seeds. And if you can see, this is the next slide. These are our farms in Dulanga. Dulanga is Lairang, and I think is the bread basket for Ruing, and perhaps soon it will be feeding the rest of the region. So that is how our crops are doing. I want also to take you to the next slide, one of the success stories. And that is the onion, some of the onions you get in Konyo Konyo, in Wow, in other places, and tomatoes. This is coming from a Vietnam. And you might have heard of the Vietnam young farmers are doing an amazing job in terms of increasing production, connecting markets, and also doing the supply. So I think these are people that deserve, if there are support from partners, this is the people that we should invest in terms of production. One of the achievement in our strategy towards transforming education in rural administrative area, Your Excellency, this year or last year, we recruited over 40 qualified university graduates as teachers. And this is a strategy to absorb our young graduates who graduate but not find a job into the teaching sector. And with our local revenues, resources, the little that is coming from the 2%, we were giving this kind of pay between a range of 120 to 150, so that at least to maintain these teachers in the teaching sector, because everybody is moving to NGOs or to oil companies. But at least this is, for a graduate, this is a starting point. We have also been told that students teaching students. So what we did, those who were teaching in secondary school and also were secondary school leavers, we absorbed them into the government payroll and deployed them in the primary school to improve teaching. You will see there from our own resources, we provided a scholarship to 15 students, and currently they are in India and focusing on sciences, engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, and also pharmacists and computer engineering, because this time we are saying we must invest on what the country needs. It's not just people taking any subject. And so our resources should be invested on what we think is the right technology needed by our people. We had also renovation of some of the schools in Jamjang County, that is Jamjang and primary school and Labang. And we also provided some motorcycle to the inspectors. Yesterday, some of the governors mentioned acquisition of lab equipment apparatus, which is also a support from the Ministry of General Education and STEM Power, where equipment has arrived and they have to be installed in secondary school. I want to give you just a bit of a statistic in the next slide in terms of school enrollment. If you look at the secondary school, and primary school, and seeing from 2021, 2022, 2023, you will find in 2023, both for primary and secondary school, there's a shoot up. And one of the motivating factor is this deployment of qualified teachers. And one of the motivating factor is also this kind of a scholarship that we are providing to students. And this is what is increasing enrollment, because most of our students in rural administrative area, given we are the farthest location, they complete secondary school, but at times it's quite difficult to find where do they access university. Though GPOC is also providing some scholarship, it's not always sufficient to all of them. So the fact that we were able to provide this kind of package has also increased the enrollment for this year. From the Ministry of Health, we have been having supply of essential drugs to health facilities across rural administrative area, and also capacity of our staff have also been strengthened. And also with the support from the rest of partners like GPOC, we have some medical doctors and nurses deployed in Pariang Hospital and providing health services. People talked yesterday here about HPF, which is the health pool fund, is earning in some of the areas, and most of the staff running our facilities across rural administrative areas are under this program. The fact that it is going to stop, we have absorbed this 321 into a government payroll, so that when this program ends, we still have to maintain our staff providing health services in those facilities. In terms of infrastructure, some of the key achievements, that is the outline, but I will go to the slides one by one. That is either airstrip in the next slide. You can jump that. That was, I might have been sitting somewhere. They did not, I had wanted that photo yesterday. Waiting under the tree for a flight. And the airstrip is an old airstrip that has been there since 2014. But now, next slide. This is something small, but at least this is where you can now go and wait for your flight. If it is raining, you have that time when it is raining, we have to run to the cars. But when the plane is landing, it is dusty, we have to run to the cars. But now we have this small waiting lounge, or call it a room, successfully completed. And this is what we call our VIP lounge. It's not like the W shape of Warab, but in fact, maybe we'll go later on for a V shape. The construction of guest house is ongoing. We have the guest house, we have the resident. This is almost to completion, and the same thing with the resident. The next slide, which will be for the governor, private accommodation, rural administrative area, with the contractor by December this year. They should be completed and handed over to the government. We have also installed and launched what we call the Rural Radio 87.6 FM, covering a range of 100 kilometers, and how this has enhanced access to information and also raising the level of awareness. So that is our FM radio fully functioning. And this is, lack of information is another big problem. But I think since we had this radio, there seemed to be a lot of change in terms of looking at things and what do we expect from the public, and what they expect from the government. I always listen to their calls when they call to the radio. Next, this is the construction of ER, which is leaving from the refinery to build a Lake No Road. Where I said before, Lake No is an old port, and this project is supported by the Ministry of roads and bridges. And we have also a project, a road from Panyang to Bonki, and then a Dulango Road. The Dulango Road, this is leading to the farm, so that giving access to our farmers to bring to their produce to the main road and take them to the market or home. And this is supported by GPOC. We have also done maintenance of internal roads in Pariang. That's what you see on the other side. I need to briefly talk about the low road leaving refinery to Biu and then to Lake No. This is a very strategic road. Ya Jama, we have the refinery and we have the port. I have used the oil or the diesel from the refinery, the best one. How do we get it to Juba here and to the rest of the region? And also maybe a road leading to Barkazal. And that's why the issue of this road to us must be a priority, and building the port. Because this can be used, you can use barges to bring fuel here, and even they have it diesel for the generators. So I think the Ministry of Petroleum and the National Ministry of Road and Bridges should be supported and given a kind of emphasis on how they should accelerate. It is remaining only 4 kilometers to reach to the port. And if that is done, I think it will help us in so many ways. You know the problem on the border, how sure are we maybe tomorrow or next? The pipeline may stop. What alternative do we have? So I think that's why I need to emphasize this, so that at least if there are resources, they should be available, complete this road, construct the port, and we will be able to have the fuel and also increase, do the storage facility. We have construction of Bimnam airstrip. Bimnam is one of our counties with our far away, and during the rainy season they are disconnected. So we also injected some resources coming from the government of Ruang administrative area and the local administration. That is the share of the 3% to have this airstrip, so that during rainy season, at least some basic supplies are able to be delivered to the area. It is under construction, and the contractor might resume in this December to complete this. In terms of our approach to protection of environment, which is also in line with recommendation number 48, with the support from the STEM Power, this year we launched the tree planting program across Ruang administrative area, and this is towards our strategy of making Ruang green. And this is supported by STEM Power. In public financial management, we have strengthening of institutional capacity of our key staff, especially from Ministry of Finance in areas of planning and budgeting, and also we have also 45 civil servants, including Director General, that are working on the areas of budget and planning, also given capacities. Recently, we had support and facilitation organized by the Council of States with the support from UNMISS, where a capacity of about was 37 community development committees that are managing the 3%, were given capacities on proper way of managing this share from the oil revenues for our oil producing and non-oil producing counties. Also, under this 3%, we have identified now about 35 infrastructure projects that have been prioritized by the community, and this will be implemented in phase 1. And this range from having school, health facilities, water projects, and some of the county headquarters. This is going to be financed from the share of the 3% for the oil producing communities and non-oil producing communities. You might have heard during the crisis, I think we were the first to dispatch 10 trucks to our stranded returnees in Khartoum that came through Rang that time. And we were saying, yes, we are not evacuating, but we are facilitating those who are taking risks and those who want to move. So we dispatched 10 trucks to Rang, and with the support from CRA, UNHCR, IOM, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, we have been facilitating returnees from Khartoum to Rang, to Pariang, and to Abiemnum. And so far, we have received over 6,089 returnees in Ruang administrative area. This is a bit of a statistic in terms of IDPs, returnees, and refugees. You know that we are hosting the largest number of refugees from Nuba Mountain, and we have about 41,696 refugees in Pamir. We have refugees over 40,000 at Juangtok refugee camp. We have about 31,000 in Ida refugee camp. We have also IDPs from Unity, that is in Medin, that is La Lobe area, extending to Fanakwaj. And this is where the deputy governor was trying to make a claim of Panyaga yesterday, but this is not true, or Roriak. We have returnees that are in Abiemnum. We have 4,000 in Abiemnum now. In terms of returnees that arrive in Pariang, we have over 2,000 that have arrived. And during the crisis, with the partners, we set up emergency task force that brings the partners and the government, while as a government, we had our own emergency working group. In terms of some of the status of the resolution, you can see there in terms of repatriation, reintegration of refugees and IDPs, that we have been doing that. That is in relation to resolution number 9. We continue to hold peace dialogues and intercommunal to end intercommunal violence. And as I said, by the 5th of this month, we will be having the peace conference with the Mesiria, the Shanabala. We don't know the dynamics this time in terms of the migration given the current situation in the Sudan. We also recommended here last time, and that's the question I asked yesterday, to resolve and mitigate inter and intra-states an administrative area conflict over boundaries or resources. This has not been met. In terms of land allocation for investment, we have adhered to that. Deployment of unified forces, we last time recommended here, deployment in Panakwaj and Jau, and that was in relation to recommendation number 4. Yes, maybe now the deployment process is on. Perhaps these are going to be considered. These are borders with the Sudan and very strategic. Number 6 is what I asked yesterday, and I think this is what we have agreed. If we are to hold a conference, Your Excellency, the first Vice President is also maybe putting a request to some of our partners, and also we as a government, Unity, ourselves, we can support this process and make sure that we hold this conference so that we end this issue of borders. In terms of unifying basic salary structure, yes, there are issues, but I think thanks to the governors and chief administrator, we push the Ministry of Finance to make sure that the 400% is applied across all the civil servants. And although the money is not enough, but I think this has also been realized. We are invest oil revenues to diversify the economy. You have seen some of the tractors. This is also from the small cheer over 2%. And I think we are in line with their recommendations. Recruitment of qualified teachers. This is in terms of overall challenges under peace and security, Your Excellency. I think this is where I need to emphasize some of the key things in terms of violation of the peace agreement. In July, I was on phone with you almost 12 hours on the incident of Wunkur by your forces that have remained to occupy that location, and where our 7 members were killed in cold blood, and the chairperson of the Peace Commission was wounded and brought here. I think today there is a paper I have also given you of another allegation or rumors going on, which I need to bring to your attention. And I think nothing has been done about it based on what we discussed and what you discussed in the presidency. My 3 vehicles still remain under your forces. They have not been brought. And I wonder why you are my first vice president here, and your forces are still maintaining the government vehicle or the same government that I and you are in. So I think this need to be addressed. I think this is a recommendation that is going to you direct. Illegal occupation and renaming of territories belonging to Ruang. This is what the Deputy Governor of Unity said yesterday. So I think this is what we need to address, and this must stop. You have heard of the place called Roriak. This is not Roriak. In real sense, this is just a translation. The people of Aling County are Kuok, and they are part of Greater Awit. Awit is what you call Riak. And Road is the forest, or maybe, so in real sense, you are affirming the thinking, this is Road Awit in real sense. So I think this renaming of places should stop. Issue of cattle raiding and related violence is still remain a challenge. And also, I think this year that the change of pattern is in terms of weather. And our biggest insecurity for this rainy season has been thunderstorm and lightning, which has claimed almost 18 lives compared to insecurity this time. So I think this is where we are going also to focus some of the resources and see how this can be addressed. I have talked in terms of agriculture and food security, the invasion by the locust and the grasshopper, infestation and invasion in rural administrated, especially in Aling, in the Dulakong area. But we planted seeds that we distributed. The quilla birds are the major problem. You know, with the flooding, there is a big migration of birds to the other side. And now they are releasing their colonies, and they are going to attack the crops. Last year, they destroyed the crop. GPOG has been trying to do the spray, but very, 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 very harmful in a way that we say, how sure are we that this chemical aerial spray is safe to the life of people? But how this is also coordinated with the Ministry of Agriculture and also the Ministry of Health. I think this is something we need also to see whether there's a shift of the technology. We consulted with one of the companies that is able to install a technology that will scare the birds. So I think that is something we need to revisit. The question of storage facilities and post-harvest challenges, always there are significant loss of grains due to this lack of post-harvest management. We have issue of IDPs and returnees in terms of shelters, given the large number that has come back in terms of access to health facilities, schools that are limited in some of the communities. But I think this is something that we need to work together with the Ministry of Health, General Education to see how do we expand some of these spaces. We know that as a government, I think with all the crises all over the world, there seems to be a fatigue from the donors, and funding is becoming a challenge. And I think even in terms of humanitarian response by providing food, the people that came from Khartoum and went to Biemnam, I think it was last week when they received the first intervention by food distribution. So I think there's a big concern, and that's why we should increase our own food production. Somebody asked yesterday, there might be a disturbing picture in the next slide, but I beg you, please, Your Excellency Vice President, on issues of oil pollution. We have never kept quiet about this. The people are talking of birth defects and children born with deformities. This is a ruin. This is the recent case of August, of this child you are seeing here. And is one of the 7th or the 8th kind of children born with such deformities. Yes, we need the oil, but I think with due course or in next some time, I think our areas will be affected seriously across the Ruang administrative area. So this is where we have called always on the oil companies to take a standard of care in terms of protecting our environment from pollution. So this is just an example. I want to show you how the effect of oil is in rural administrative area. Some of the recommendation and moving forward, Your Excellency, in relation to incident of Wonku, I'm requesting that our 3 vehicles for the police, those are police vehicles, are returned. We have written last time, I recommended the blood compensation for our 7 members that were killed in cold blood by the SPLA-IO forces stationed in Wunkur. And I think if they are going to phase 2, can they leave our county so that our civil population is able to return? This renaming of places should cease until you know these places we call Meding, there's La Loban, which is being renamed. Roriak, we have Derbin, which is Unity Oil Fields. We have Panakwet, that part of it they are calling Panyagai. These are facts and they don't need to be twisted. We call for a conference, which was also a recommendation from the 6th Government Forum. We still call for this forum between Ruang Administrative Area and Unity State so that we resolve this issue of internal borders as per 1st January 1956. And we are very clear on this. We also try to have GPOC and Ministry of Petroleum, which is a regulator, to shift from, sorry for that, it is from this harmful technology of controlling quilla beds to something that will be of friendly use to our people. Provision of storage facilities and training of farmers on post-harvest management. In terms of returnees, I think we are also trying to see how provision of livelihoods and economic empowerment for the youth and women is very important. Calling on oil companies to take a standard of care in terms of protecting our environment from pollution and also fulfilling some of their corporate social responsibilities. There was a launch of environmental audit for the first time, but up to now, we haven't seen the report, or we are not even sure how is the progress, and we are interested in that report and its recommendation. So we ask that the ministry concerned, which is the regulator, Ministry of Petroleum, should expedite this process. We still look towards strengthening our public institutions, including the justice system and deployment of high court judge. You know, we are hosting the largest refugees. We have our host communities. There are always cases of murder. And if such areas stay without the high court judge, I think it leads to a number of backlog cases and maybe to some people taking law into their hands. strengthening of our healthcare system through deployment of medical personnel. We said, let us complete that road that links the refinery to the port so that we are able to have the oil here or the fuel. With this, let me say thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Malaysia. Thank you for listening. Okay, audio presentation, but the chief administrator, we are milling the Duran, Duran. I mean, okay, jam dan wan chen ben jam ka teman wan cek ben long di jiba, kage ben jam bang de ka ken lorot. Ka yo ke kwe ka junta jam tong di jen, ka kide de jen ko unta chiki chukwen. Lakin ke dal ruweng ben ka lo ruweng ka che ko kwen yen welcome Moses Malo cha welcome kren nga cha da jo gon te ka yo ke rol de ban wi on ke lo play so pia bro introduce de de wat bi kar ke chade for a ki go ba yen a pia yen critical overview ka cha chat ko ten ko ka cha ke nyang pin ko space da ko chi jam ke de ni chol mark yan ke de ni chol mechanized agricultural production counter chen jam summary kwa jam long the education sector kwa jam long the health sector kwa jam long the development project ku jola long the security lakin ko ne nyang we ke long the communication when long the media chana chin space and with other thing we ka ke ban yan they are comprised within that you mentioned there on the screen so go ahead there by Moses.
Yena dik in chat be more than a week one and bella big I just ping ben audio piet yeah and came along me and taban okay jamana call on bu ben jam book review book ben loy when it ben a call can ayok if you compare this presentation with your last year ago presentation taban a key difference this presentation taban 100% jam the ene te deka a chin gi ki nyon ni na ki jwa bana ki nyon ni te deka ya yen ku buk loy a ja ku ke lo buk loy we the lightning taban ki lo taban ke chol ko ke ba ya ki de part big loy lightning ji ko ja no kene taban ki lo bu go kana wi bi chadi jenen a chan ten o dik ga lo cha ko ja lo ko chin jwa go ke ka ta o non chen ko ke o wo de ne kar ba kana bi ke bi en ta na malo bi de ga tin ta gel until bi no lo because yen kene ka ke chi luel kana lo la ki ran tie ku bet chi de ne chi nok ke sa ku shoya ayok na lui ko chin ma yen ben ka yok jwa ba na bo lo nga ci lui pe ka jwe ka lo a jwe ka ji won nyu the presentation ka taban kai chol ko lo chin pyo le fin namane tak ba queen mutale na ya yin ta ku je ben cham so yin chale je pe shi ba demonstrator lo luen te deka so in iran un te ngi p1 yellow by in you see your picture in him I think you see your picture in him. Tabana chan kelo ine kichit kiblo ine ranto in any corner of the world ran echi jal by one. The picture when you see that is pit taban you see yourself in that picture. Ene ko wiku ka kene. Ye na chale den ben along unte de pin e ga chi nyuon what you call nyuon the one. Pin ke ma hem ku ka yok pin ni junu chin to unte jare ga chin ka kiji chak I think pinga chak ben to wan to Sudan ki yetok ke chak ben I chin won te jidit so ran en loy ki chide ken taban ke ran ku ke loy that a chana de ke chor yo du gobran taban pi ki chol dunie luet ko kulwel ke luet taban ku ben ngor ke ye luet ku yit ke ben ngor ke ye yit ka yok o ge junubi no ben ran a liberate re en tin lakin you have to respect yourself a chan go you take I think how we chide ken kwa chien chila nyu ten ku chage ten ken nyu non yen ke to du ken so ken ka bu ku ne ken ke ban ja me ke wede ke da ke de ka me rap cham ken ka ke chi luel ken ba na chan yen ayok wal la ba yon ko ku ki ngi te ma dik ta ba na chi le ngi ga ke chi luel ten a wi bi a loy a wi lo view ta ban le ki na en yo ni ale chi pya da wi bi lo ke le ni chieng ko ko bi a loy spray ko ke chat chi wi kun te bi a yo ni al ke ai tek a wi bi ke a ta ke de non chi ke loy e ta wi ko chi back ku ke ya a de ke ne mu en loy spray bi a lo spray da ke te tin ke ne na le bi cham ya ke ne ku lo ya yila kun te environment ni ta ban chan yin yo cái jam wede wo yo la pay ku yen ka ki jango ki tawe tan kene yen ci ko ju dal kwa bu ngor ki loya nga ki ci loy report kene kene ret ka dia kene liu ki ka ba ta lan e ngoy nyu won ki ci ma yik taman di je wo ka re tax da nu jaran jo koy kul jaran jo de ne lo ku jo ret bele jo te chol kren te chol makini lo ku jo ret ten lo ku taw ki chol ngo kene a ku mo kene ta ku mo kene ko chi ka thue chi dol to riang na mwane chi tiong wan ki byung ku ben ak byok ene ga to ta ban chin there's a chin justification ano ne ki chi ka ta ne dol lu le no bi ja lu len ko din chi dong ja lo ke ne ja ku ka bi jo bi ran ja ngi di ne len ko din lo ben ko ben yen lu ka to ki ye ra no to ke number 1 ben chok go ke re chun ne ten kwa chin ke luil a ku mo ro ke to kene ka ko wa ja chanen bi yak bi ngor we ta lan ke support bo jor wan ben ngul do kren nim ko ye ken nyok re da ke dung nim kene ngo nyu da ke chi de kene yo nyu da ko ye ne ran ye ne ben ene number 1 ben cho kene ku jorot ku wel ten ko ke ti mo ne kene lo ke ko ku jorot ku le ye ne re do wan ke dil ke ni ke dil ma ka lo je ku la ko ke ni je loy ai ni jen loy bet ke ra len ka ngui len cho ta biu ku ya re biu ne kreng de to ka ma le bes kwa chin ke loy che yi kene ke wrong I think a chanen bu ko ga long ku la bai kene ku ke ngi ke jot ku ke da kuma tong kene ke wrong kene wa wi bi lo di ja ne ne ran ya long te de ko ne be long ne al tui en ka ge chen ja ma te ne ko je be ne al taban a wi bi kuma ru en bi de yandi ngi cham bi ya ngi cham na ye ke ben ko bu ko na lu agree first ku tanya pe pat ku bu ke yen bi design te da ki bi a ben kan randomly ko junu ku ja shi mala shi ga dollar kero I think ata wi shi de kene ke na on te na on te kina alternative ku be ko ka yo ka chin da big bella ben da to ka chin di ki te no ku ten lakin abu ngor abu loy lon wan e ko jiran bu ko nyu ku tan ku biga ben be mayin kuna jel ke la mi ga report ogel wona tan kin ko je nok ti jel ka ki ko nok ku jel ki mi aka be la ben pi kre nge tong pe kana chot lo yekene o kya dollar kero kene ka kene ne ke cha tina yok ne ke ba lo lakin yen jam ben overall taban jam dik ku ka jikan ben jike kuin akija taw taban ne chi ba lo ye pa nun te kren ke luel ku lo ta chok lo nge kya de lo nge kya de lakin ayok yen chi ba demonstrate ay lu ya pay ku junub kriye bana chi lo violent wi bu kuin long kanun na wi chin ke tok tong ne tong chak lo en ka wa na lo tong wa dal ki jo dong ke non te bi ko jam ku kuin ne ra te bin jo ben die tu don te taw tin ke na lo binot jo gel I think so yen ga yok ki kuin ba ne ko pet kuin ne te ka he represented us really well and I like that yen an ko ten in chale
yen apia by Moses in Chaleja ne critical overview one ta chit kitilo about chief administrator yen ka chu great that no ke 100% o ko ke RGM presentation the bank ke 100% chin ke wona lutin chin ke lui subtracting kwa ke chin ke dong chen so the man then twen on yani ke dong chen on ke long the oil pollution lakin ke lu tong de man tin jam ko ne ko da ne che ryo je ke yong pa ne yen ok be think we will go to break a little bit ku ogre tin tan yen chin mi let me just try to see this song kwa yen bear with us quite kwan keruen chu ke le ne reo we reo ten so we the part with the RGM and ke chikini and let me just try to check the song here and we will come back. Yen of the party the gok din kene ke very historical song kayoke you are the commitment to our liberation struggle ke paramount enga kan din by yene ban we are melik ke one of the products of that liberation struggle and ke chikini okay wo ban okay we fight for our freedom whether kito Sudan wala kita duan rain in US and we have been fighting for liberation struggle and that's why this is the product dividends that we liberate our country Kandinata yani these people are not there lakin the sound the accent that you have heard keke miskuru engben miskufanaro particular miskufanaro and they are not here chenga ku ba lo yal mini jo no jo ke to yal ayok ban wiyo ka jidi lui de lon wan chi marum mi bang lang chen lui. Of course there was no technology lakini be ga lui de a chi lui bi la far east ku le kichol county pataun ku le establish the headquarter ku jola health sector when chi health facility chi ga yigatan ku na charo within Fariang county enga tawon ke le char ga dunga lakini na la Fariang man tine ku ting be ko ka ku le yen ke chi ban be lo ke correct enga ba chi ga da pyat ba ke ting ga pa non de Madina deal ku ne ki lo ke chi kan ta dang na ba ke ting chi bur yi ka chi bur man tin because there are no building material chi ba yi ba den ka ga la ku ro de man tin yen ban lang chi lui to the maximum county headquarters chi ga yi wan ban wan ke chol fa yamat ke ga chi jo converted now to be a county e kala ni ka da yi se ya ta ra we kwen ga wan chi ban wiu chi jo ba kwan to man tin che ku tieng presentation a che non man ne no wa ma ko wan chi ku mutan a chi lui lakin they just work for a short period of time ku jel ke lakin ban wiu man tin a yo zaman da ko ri lakin ka ye ke lo within yani it almost 8 months or 9 months ke significant kenga yen kene ken you are no yani we are part of the product of liberation struggle and nga kuna le o jor man tin ko ko ran jito big ba ben tin ta de ngale big le la wa ka de tin ke let us just leave the negative yani side effect that we just try to force actually and get that political opinion ngane opponent katauki chimana de ran ya de ran mane ne chan bi ke le wi o chi pin da pin ke yisku yes e klen do pin na chi ra kum yi kwe nyin le ya kwe yin to yo pol go cha na de tin no ngetin ke chi lo ya ke le bin a very proud of it che ke ja ben ne ko nim go thio en nga a ke ne wo chu le jam ne ya ne a che wo lu wi support 100%. No, we just want to give out the information so that our people will be benefit chan bu ko ya pin ke lo ro dia en nga wa ne show ke ne lo bu ga jam to nge nga go ko kwanta ba ga ke ya pin ke won ta chi ku kwen ai ban we chi jam to nge jur la kina ki ke pin sound good to know ko won ta chi pe sound bad ne ke ko won ta ki ga ke tu nga ne chi jam long de for ke one of the most important thing for ready en ka ke ne le yen obu ko ya dun ta bia for go ga kuma go apure na ra no ta chi kin ke da no ta to ken ke ki pur ka le ba wo ti da kuma kwa yen ne chen ka ke mention ya ne cha go ting long ne biem nam e ba to la ki o yo a che ben pe ke ben rueng long ne biem nam chi wo ta pin mi ke biem nam young farmers and the good part of it en ka airstrip ka ke lo ngan ngone runway de tire chan be produce ka ke price bu ke ga la jot ku le ke jiba direct en nga kwa we be ke support that ke kwa we ke ka be and the money that we have had to be permanent into the system a chan be ke gin kare ga ke pur en nga ke one of the more important thing lakini ala la gain la ne ti ram somewhere chi nya man ko bi raji chen nga kwe kene ka yo ke one of the more important thing chi ban we chen jam tin ku jola yen long de long bi ko furu le ruon e pore lu ruon chi bu go ba che de for de ruon ye ta ga chan pi wa ne ka chol jam mana le ke ti jo tin le ke jal chen nga kene a chen jam long ne education sector one long ne de talim chol ngo long de ga a chen jam pa di go wan ka yo ke ko le nun te yani ko chin tu ta le lu sin ge o jo tam pin ja ke lo pio man tin what he did ke loy ka yo ga chu we ke jwa and a chin ta the dam like gi 150,000 when $150 well 120 aliu other state lakin yani he has put the money into the system achan be koy won ja yani kede chol brain drain koy won ji pye ke luai ke jot yan lo nun de we ke jot kula ke pye kula pye de dan pe achan in order to serve the people because in chile bi jo pye ku jala re pa aliu in ke chol brain drain ga kan a ken ka yo ke to ka chi ban we o chitin in a said ben jal gule le Kenyan teachers le ke ba then what is wrong with our people graduate yani university graduate one jito mana ka baba chan ba ka le chin ben ga pe so we ka ke increase now chide ngana chide breathing space for this intellectual to go and teach ruling administrative area kwa ke one of the motivating factor chikada anta chekweni chen low 40 teachers 40 qualified teachers chike buy into the system ku jala 15 one chak ting one e ko jam pe a chin mikla jot ke pa ne ting tok o ke mi kruwen and they are very sharp and big bana productive yenga ku bi ko ba loy ku ko en ke 15 people ajika jot and they went for credential STEM education STEM education e kan abbreviation is STEM the S belong to sciences T ke technology E ke engineering kujola yene MK mathematics so can ke one of the key and key professional areas where our people have to focus and we will compete globally kenika so ka chiri ka ke productive kuna lege lo pion en ben pa ni chol India ka yo le bi ko ben ko yi je che krenga che khogran kuna chiran wi je pyo che man mitku kwe mitru en chol human development based on the STEM education let me tell you human development based on the STEM education for example there and the technology chip kana pay technology en kurane purpat kula ke got pin par yang ten yani leve electronic computer the leve ke produce par yang ten e can only be jo more yan very expensive than agriculture product ku jola yene technology mana yina lui ko bit en ke en chola ya che taw daga a cha tin ji man ko je yigu man tin yan ke dan chol ngan ke dan chol e chol nga e chol quote bikran quote a chan bikran design feasibility study ko de ki go yik ke mi klaken te ran len wone ngan architect bila design be the tour ku tuot ke le tour pat ke won pe ke ki go yik en ke na very important ke na chan ko big they have to acquire that education en ka kwon chu kwen man chan kwen art ken a che ada ke science mi lo ju kwen science ke consider ke science ka ke dan ju kwen economic dan ju kwen intelligent dan ju kwen kan security e ka ke ben ke science ken nga ku yen ben area ben beta professional ke pya de finam ke de ke ba but the main focus when ga won tai chi ban wi chen jam ke long education ha chap lo expand pe ka yo motivating factors man ko do ko chen chan big ben pye ba and guess what ko ne ba chi lo chen ba ye ko gat ko ke lo high school na chi to form 4 alwe yin ba lo je chin jo lo je la mu je di wo ko ki University Sudan ku jala ban chen ba den yan dan you join university in ja ma ja got fat kitchen we ke chat yen nga e kene ya na yo ga ni chi ban we o chi ting na mi ko ga to high school ku ye very competent kale big ban a few en nga ku lu ke from that they will join the university ke incentive bi ke so can will be another motivating factor a chan bi bigal jal from Kenya man jore Kenya ki to high school mi the very sharp with the more bire ki pyo ke pyo do na la ke ja yen nga man for example ma re o me la wotene degrees ko an pa yo ke pa yo ke yo they are very active ke more than degrees ke yo ke on 2008 yen nga ko ye ke dai ben lo ke ko pa to because nam den ke very sharp na bere for long period of time ke na me be la ke ko lo en nga kwa yo ne ka tokan chir mane in queen ya in queen cham ko tu go da go tu lakin actually fat ki ne re fat ki ler go sa da tanaga you are very active namke brain ka very active kene ka ayok long the finance da nen jam le yani they have yani institutional capacity but ko wonta le big long the way biga bikega mo achan to plan for financial budgeting kuja planning. For example, you go and chokon jam kede we wana call kede the Panaru Community Association. Yan we kwe no minyan to kwa chingalatin. Enga. Mana ki na chin kaloina. Enga. Kene kede initial definition but stupidity ka. Enga. Definition but stupidity ke be kene lo ketong yan for example chin bela we tong ula ku ba pi ku nyawo do ga we tong ba pi ku ba dagten kene definition but stupidity. Enga. Instead to create another alternative a chan chibi a lot meti bugwa yo ka thyogon ke jo chu loin en wa kwa chi orge. So that's what we call an institutional capacity to strengthen the financial budgeting and planning. Kenga Kenadi kiman chogi ban mentora rob chogi en tingaten a chig loten yan he has a master degree in MBA kujola koi kok chan ke pyo of course che ko anon kin go to kiman bu go la fit bi kiman chimelo to go ka you we ya ki ba nyot da no ne strategy they will managing kan or kre li tani ne chan ke student kwa yo ken ka ke very important on ta chu ko kwa ni ban one by one de ka cha ke de ka very important cha ping on tin ke ga ne chol 35 project che ke identified by the community across 8 counties in ken ke ban ke 5 ken ke ban ke 1 la ken ha bla lo la ke dan 1 3% 3% chilo into ratio put yani 55 to 45 ke belong to non oil producing counties kujala ke 55 ke non producing counties we ka gaban they have to be they have to identify the project ku we ka ke release in order to finance them chan ku be ke dan chit ke below ke which is good and okay initial phase chan big implementation below because we were talking na to we ke below ke then you guys need to sit down ku be ka below ke loy and ku ja planning ku budgeting below adi chan budgeting ke one of the big issue we were talking and ku we the key and thing we ka ke enemy cha ran che chwe ke in event chwe ko tong and the chin we ping mana below ke very important ke dan cho nan yani discriminatory project kaunta chi le ko da dom tiel chiman school akim achin tek to ko to hun bula yana den ayeken ku ki ke myo ma menu ku twa la fa na kim menu ku chin pi de ke ga be de pi menu ku le kanisa ke yen security ke yani the same thing lakin man alwe na we take ga chan bi ko jala tie en nga ka lwe ku ngen den yinga ne tie ku we wan ti ka bai rin ko ku ki tie so on ken pya kan a chan ko ne ko manim and be project alloy based on it which is good kasi ka identify is very important lakini ba nyang pe nyiki gage and be ben to want very sensitive the very sensitive kiken ke long security ka yo ga che a chi lu ya pa 100% enen ne ban bio chenen jo lak ban di don ta ne forum ne ke mu ku ka pyat a chan yani ra ni chol Dr. Riek Machar ke governance is cluster in kamu governance cluster it contain a lot and day security ko ene de kan ba chenga and lakin ajo de yan private forces can chi by occupy illegally kukajam yan about governance, which is comprises of the security sector. Jo chol ngo ken en tong ni jeng jo chol ngo yi lo ki lo ki dik tan kwa de gedeng non ka ga nu tan ke lo ki lo kra en mana you will not be trust in level ngot pyo akena chi we ngai ta wen na dik ku bi nyin ngai ta bin lakini de gedeng won ti ni chol to tungwa ken en ayo ko ko ra ko ki chol ko ra ko ton en yani it kind of bullying ko ra ko ki man for example me lo ke gentleman kula lwel me lo yine men nya ene ko ra ko ka ken la kula yimi o yirin pai ku ka cherin ku so that's the problem kwa yen wo lu ke provoke for a long time a chan ku brina la lo chi man on lwel ka de ke chol dal ja a je ngai rio je pa ni jo cha de pa ni kon cha long ru en lwel no rio a dal no aliu ken ke ko ra ko en ku ka ja pin ko pin ele va den jamai la moji tangi jala wa tangeram en ke jo chobi ke jala mute de len mutin ku ja ke de pian den jala yok sinte a chan be ken yo very important indeed ko won chen jam about rumors ke ne ka che rumors ko ne ko wan chok jam media de padang chi ban de county bata panga ken wore got ku le yen ra na tawtene a chi ban ke ki 100 young men who is intention ke lele na katem ala pariang temeti fanos ina leketin ko ok tawten ala ke bai ayi ke gen ku yen ke very confident that no chiran mi en gongnam kwa chi ke ko ping chin nan ji ping tan including the commissioner and no one ke go dal ke yen ban reng ma chan je yo ku le yen abo ki jam ran ke ran ai wo ban kwa ran ge bejo ta tara ko ba ata tar panga ata tar piji u ke lel de go ya na ne yan je ndom ma chan bia wa ku rueng ku ke gyo le yegen a che ge na ngi so wore ga got na je na yaken ting woren ki de kan ke commissioner en ke gaden commissioner de fanga within Jonglei state u ke le tem ke la de an cha rueng administrative area but el ben page pan den ta mana ken you are no kai rueng chi ke kai South Sudan ke le la page to den here but it doesn't care about the safety of these 100 young men yen ke le la page to learn a foreign country en ran de go biat kan ku ja ko nyin so ti yo en tie ja ku mo kan ran de go biat ko na ko nyin ran de flani nga chan bi ko la no ti ko nyin mana ke ne ke crime en ke da ne chol crime intent because the ki go lo ki crime go lo lakin he had the intention to commit the crime en so ke mas bitaw sijini na ji jola ka jola to the presidency. What is the role of national security? Kuja internal security. The Chen police go dal within the county of Pangak. Kujola organized forces got out and the Cheke dal. Then this is the function of the national security. He has to be arrested. Kunyu the Bianu the ran a chan brand go be other pen Louis Flon a chan be krajala loy quite. Beeping and all deterrent can. Deterrent get non brand con you beer. I got on the pure kitchen below between the round one check and a loy. When I fell in there, ke come de go yat video ben ya lu la ba go ruwen. La ba go me lo ga nya. La ba go bentu. En ran nga bi yat be den dom ni ran je nga bi yat be dom be je de ko de ku be la jaroka. Mana ka cha ku mo kan. Yen kene wana chot ko lo da man no ni cholo kingdom achiran de go biat kon na ben kule la yen le la wai da mela kun nam the king la bai and unfortunately nam the king ki jo ban yo because the president himself a chiven I interfere can be king la jot kune ki jot ki tek de na chi lo exactly the way it is and if I know ke jo lu ki chirgan ubai president jare ko nim en ku ka chin na chin ngan nga chin ke lo tin ku ke ra na jam me tong de ko ke en cha ki ngon mikla de ngan de hok kon mai long de Equatoria chi ben wo mikla wo ya no ko kwa kol la wo ga ke go bu ngodi tan ku chuno ben yi la yin ke re te den for long period of time chi ben chen ma ben chi ben ai intervene tin chan ben ke man je chi lo jat ko kun en kwene mi ke bo ya chi ben ai intervene ke ban di ron ta ta ku mai ku le jat ko jal ke because kan ngai chen e ken ka yo ke nyin rieng ma cha na chan ya jam ko ken because ko ken ping so ken achira ne go biat le bijo jal jo le yan la kuma rai to ku jo ko re ku le la ka yile man na ko je yam ne yam ko en ken ka che rumors ken che rumors okay lazino chi jo yo da pin ken ka to but kloro man tin ke because about the election it is election ka the problem when quite provoke somewhere here somewhere there Kremisri here counter chen jam a based on the security here janga ju ben ok che ta ben han byong to gi kana chi bu ga chi jot angwi ku jola kan ngo chi jot ben ku jo ko ta ben ra byong to gi ok jare byong to gi man eto ma bu ka ma jang ai ke to in ban wiel ke chora na che cha ga yan pat ma ke ben ge documentation chien ba ga ben admitted in the hospital achira ne agreement jo lo ke chin wara ke gat pin ku jola time mun ta ben oda tu manon chek ben long de jong le ku kwen ko to kwa chin wara ki gat pin ku bi long the unity set ku kwen ko to ka jarin bai man ko de ke chim me godan ku la yen ka de fan de dan pa na ru ta na ke fan den simple because they la de tan ke le ye fan go ku jo lu respond ku la ku mi ko kon ki de America ne pan America ku dun and ade mi ko no ji ke ban de ba le bi America lo claim that no ke fan de e pin den ne ken a che yen kwa yo ke kene ka in by Moses yen by we in chilui 100%. I think your presentation is a 100%. Ku Quran ku chinam ngan chinam opponents ache luya dik yen nga ayen chograt pin along nan lightning de keden wane ko je chol ngan ngai dem ko yube kula la kwa chira la en nga kwa chira la ke lungdo yan ki jabe na ke lungdo nyobe luel kawan ache yen ken en nga mantine there are preventive measures le ke ga le ko dama no go ge ngan bit ke lo ku wal tong nyal yan kin bit wal tong nyal kin wal tong nyal ke dengi do go tren ka yubi ne mantine kula ko jo ge je ka yubi ne chan wen ade nam tung mo to en nga ke nam na jom nyal ke de that's why no ka ge ke ngan ke da yu ke wana le le ne ka cha kwa la a che yen ke sharp object it is like ke da ne chol magnet ene ke chol ngan lightning a chin magnet so na ke mo to it can attract ke loin be chu de da ku ga ji go ba chan ke lu chi karaba ana ki chir gana ku chi deng tinga pe bu ka ya re lwe gi wala wodi ku kam mo to ki ke bia wel to nya because ke the natural conductor. It is conducting the electricity from the storm when when you so kagali bi ko ya device in kana chin modern equipment le buke la ji man ke the natural conductive and routes buke town underground system amma ke the natural lightning rods buke taw woni al angor ke liu you know so get non bi ko ya device kubu wo chi ke ya yin ni mi wi ke ti mi ni ngana ngo kot ke ne ngana nge kren lightning lo truck ke en nga so we be a tower non conductor yeah lakin metal len gana ayu bi ni man tin kin kon pol kwa ka ke kala ne to yen by most of the yoga cha yeba pay di go long dan developmental project yoga chin bo jam tin because yen na lui ne no yo chi man won chen jam krichar ku jala yen communication yani media chi lep to chi man ne radio fan rueng wa yen wi mit ko konta bi jeten ku ja ko man ta woten ne ranen ki lebe number de radio kene bi ba yobe ku bi jam a big ping ke ka chi connected within their phones so aro di kala ke la ping lege so ile bi jam tong je a ke le boga lui emphasize te ban wi nga ke non chien bi lo ke bi ka ja jam ra bi ku bu ka ja jam ngi li ya population lui serve ten ke ka je jam tong je ga je so tong je ye lo use much than Arabic ku ja English en ban mi lo ko je in short me
Yang ja ko. This internet di taw tan nan kre. Alme min pingen in pingen eh.
in fiang ai
Okay. E ku taban internet ya ki lui taban ke ka ki tura di kene mu lu chat kene. Alme ma in ji jam pa ai yi te da kan kene. In ji jam pa da go shanin. Well, chimana bai bai ko taw ni ma di hiran ti ki ban ko di ken jam taban ke ki lui li ke be translate be gi ku den a chan bot be di den ke ku loy mane. Lakin in ade ba dom to ko wonte lo ne kede radio shi lo kene taba na ki wi lo yi je ko wonte bi ko ajam to ko katir yi je kene so ko ke da standard language una jam atong the jing in that particular area and standard language le bi jam and le bi information be are disseminated ku toke a big yo lo in to wonte mai wonte wi le bi ngadi but mostly taban tong ran adi ka pay kin go ware so yen akuma ta ruwen ka akuma da kai ta pi ruwen I think kai ta pi ruwen majority 98% kai wanta kagde kagre kai da akuma an ci jam long nu ba saban ke kren about margin of yura saban 99% point something percent saban ke kai wona jam tong kan native to gadi so na de ke chulo ka lu one time ku kaji ya kwa de ke lu shi ko kun ta to round you shi lu big daddy that shi en tao shi en tian ko I think so wata wo ke shi de kene a yene kene ka kun ta de kade light ni won na shi kon jam taban ka ke akwai non ne watch ene ke shi de kene ku perimeter won ta lu bi lo protect it shi kan ngo aja ku lakin yen ayo ka chilo be that expensive lakin ko wona yik bai ci man tawne na parien taban ku lo yik lo ko lui ba ku de chanan bi yin non bi god bi goda change from non bi lo dingi chit ke lo ju kan taban ni man ka ji ka yik te ne ke de ni chol kren meta yida kene ana yin no hot ka won lo bi chieng ale bu ku du nge yik ka dik ke chit ke ne ku yik tup ago pinya ya go a clean kai ting ku pinya go a clean ku ku bu ga kar sal ga chwat pin kene bide to wonte ma ta wonte en loy yi wan pani jeng taban ti chedin wan pani in chil lo yo kren pa da na we o kom na nyu la chilo yo ga na we achan kom na nyu la chilo chwet na we wan ting ka ga wan anyu ku kom ke to a chilo yo ke yen yani bai there's no nothing else. I can get dang pay to dig dang lul chimane bayo go chat ni yo ke clean gane ki chir wane mar ko lo war ko bai da wane ra ben tok ku kunom de tok a che we pin ting so na chi ori gi dingi kala ki chenya bonyen to ye to chi lui develop ai ran de kren yi ten mal bi ta wel ku de kri ak bai ga ta ting lekin e wona no nga ran bi ko dole ku jel ma chin ga tin al blog showing ku de o gene so yen gol chenen gol kene yen shiba dim sweda ke pet le woto tede pari an ka ken wan palace ken wan le wot jod ben baden kwa kumo ke de mandatory taban ke de ke luil ka won tere madino ikade ke le ke chi ke re pa do wawing ade ke le ke rules ay ke lo implement ting bran bi ke de dial ngi loy achan ni ko go le to ki wan lo ni ke ni chol coronavirus taban akumo ke ne chi mar ke ko wone waloi ku bi rule bi rule te bi ko bi ke ya cha taban en ke culture de ko won chi a modernize so waka chin da yo bi ko bi a pol ka kumo te den ngi jiran you can start from you so a yi restaurant when ko je cham tin ke ale ke ga check tin en ke la tuenga ko la tuenga so a yin ni dingi ya ben ci man le wor ko ne nga ci ja ko yo di ci yi kaga ku no na to ba ka cho loy ke la dembe de la legran you start doing it loy ke de ne cho tup na ci real ga ku mo alubi loy ci ke ci loy pi kran kana big block big a yik be ke ci apartment ko ke loy ko jeri way ko gware ten le loy ke ci de kana so ne pin la ko boka kana so yen ke o beneten kana to add our own device ku be ku nyok to go go flip ke ci queen because yen agora on the ki de de kan bi ping be that ki man ko ko to bai ko to bai ta ba na ki ke ping di du na me jubo kane ko jamin li du kwara kane ki ko to bi le ki ke de kwa kuma da ko to in the village cha kuma ko ko ni jubo kai ting lakin ke to ki youth ke ti ko ni no kut o ga be ga nu bo ke jam to to gun the ake either be ai ingli den lo use or arabi chan go koy lu communicate lakini chi nga gyola tede mana ke yene tong luon kana jala lu use chan ko ni chi kwen bi jala nyok lu ni pli ba chan go lo ko ni kwen ka ke ogen lo wi akene lakini mare o ten gan ku jala man la bi ten gan chil bi jam tong jing tin tong jing chak ping ga to kan that so ne ta ne ka ne kene so yen ka chi ban ka lo ke ka pet en ke te ku wika wa ade ki chilo ne la yene te kade ko jen lu mana ki ke ping kene well we are chu lu support go independent group ko independent eh o ga independent ke ran lo ki digene ran o ko ke chilo di chilo en ke ku lu la chi no on te ne tek nan ko on te supporters ke ki dig lo ina ke jo go yen I think kun lo ran ki dig ke ka le gi de on te chilo ki dig I think ataw ki de kene so we are taban chief administrator yani if you think that you think about you see yourself in what he's doing I think you feel proud in a what you yani ade ko ya talki ko buy a talki I think ran de ke le lui ko en ke ran ne ke ga mo da chin jam wer mo rumi be wan gol ne benen gol all payam ben yi bu ma ben ke ne che ke ben I think ke beginning ke ne I think there ran ne chi be ben to wan chi ko ben ku be biak de be lo ninga chi tok tan wan ne ka te tinun ta cheno be shot be ran be ben be ke de lo a chanen ba nya che ke ran tok ba nya che kudu ke de community ke de ko yun ta ma ke so wanin ci go jal mi ak la kini jal ku be ran pe be log ben I think ran be log ben kene ka be tene be log be tene be logi ben ke jidit ke ci nyang ni kai tolso yo be lo pick up a ben dang den unta ke nom ne ke den unta jen ben yo be lo add on top ene yin yi be chen kuma ne man ta america kene ben ke ben o governor o mayor ke ben ku yok ti chen ran unta what tu ti chen en ge ke ka nyuki ku bi nyuak ku unta taw ke chol government of democracy kene lu ke talking ku talking lakin ko unta lu all areas ai chi ke chu ko unta lu area the ban chi ke chu pat ding chi lu ke chu pat ke ko unta cha luoi sa ban ya jama luoi ke ngi luoi mana ran ki kon mai oran ki kon chwe da bon ne chwa wi ku gemi ye ni man ku la nga la mai o re la chwa da bon ila wan mar wi that ila bo la mar wi we yen because the king it has to be trained. You must be taught about chane na guangi be a chwarudi. That's how the job is. Ran chire lo ji man don we o mane. Pe ji ga nok tin kene mane. Ku bora an ji di mane. Ka be pay ko kichira about 6 come be la ka be experience be lo again. Think lakini chira re tin den you learn. Then it ran bo ba den gina lu ke train ko ke. When tan de be won the talk tin cha ran chi lu lo. Ke ting ki pyo le ji kene kwa chi pyo. No, that's not easy. I think ade ki den ti kwen den ti chen lui de pe. Yo ben mari ki te deng nen tok yin. I think so a yin luoi chi pyol. Luoi chi pyol nga ke koi luoi man ba le bin luoi kula yin luoi train. A le be a financial analyst in mu ki chi master degree. Pale be yin better luoi train somewhere. I think a chan ke bi ja luoi use ka yin formula ji pyo yin in school ikene. Ene jala law using that somewhere like in the way the be and law apply think I keep it out exactly the way he and Queen P school that's how it is so you know easy I can ku book a norm ku purely chi pure so yen NKK ku wika one o jam NKK ku wika I can yen krong di hira lo ku le kring le lo ko e ken ke ku wika when ke wane ko je ke to dam ko jam got jam ben ken ye wi kene so ki dong ma ne miak yen kren chi bode ke dong ma pio big ben le port le lo ma kle ne chol pipeline le ba pin be bo ko yigle ni de piu ka ke oi ke resources ke ko chola de power lakini chen weu ka chin ke lo bag loy so resources ke matter when ga on ta yilu ma yik taban ke chol budgeting de te loy weu lu ke spending this year pi panan county dan talk man gane we okay run one 2022 talk kan 2023 talk thin gane budget ke go loy beginning the 2022 one talk ko we okay and one ki ko loy budget ka lu ka spend this year lekin ke batin mane ina ja loy invest ja talk think for example company ku loy ran in $1 million ku loy ko ma you look at the people how many people you want to employ a challenge kilo ke profit so all these ke queen I think okay low land the chinja le long ke chin en tol ke jo bela low practice so when ke tan ne kan kene so yen apiat book ki chira lo buka dwong no me kulu le ngek thank you ke lo ke ne ke piat because an we ben miak abu ki lo ke na be dwak be ba mo I think lakini shi ko lo backup ke ye na chin lo biran ngi je lo ke di ko lo krach kun ga en lo America ba ne cha ga ti na ngem ran lo ga thank you, so you give thanks to somebody kren chi lo so ye nen ke o ge lo ke chi ke na ku ja na on te ko to ba ne chi ke ja min lizi a cha na la ko je ping big daddy ka ju chi ke kuen ben ka woni ke lo charawu ben an chi be lo ade ran taw ten ran chol ko dudi the water no achana ko non we be ben so en ke taw ka ne kene ku ki kuen ben en ke ka jok tin ga ai en ke ka jok tin ga ne ka woni ke kuen ben ne te ka joka chi man long na biem nom kene chen jam taw awar pin gu jela ina biem nom county, so all those areas wo eladim bu lo ya kwenten ko ko ruwen bu area bu ke gangi because ina ni len jam ba din ke yengi je ngokwin ting en ke tane ko ko ngi pin chanan pin bu ngi le ta la wot jot ki bi jam lu bi jam ke ngi ki lo experience ke ki le gin ka ke ben ke queen ke loy kwa ne ko ya chan bu na jam da ye alo bi de ko te ki ran yang wei o ko te ki ran tak ga bela no bela loy bela made kren ideas ko to kwen la twenga a chi man wan to ko wuri taban de ge ngwe ku go ko yi gok da du gok ke ho ban I think ku go ko yi twa ke go yi te tu ne lo tin ke go a chi ni che go pin no mane I think kwen a gen tin man dollar ka ke dollar ke gol lo ka ju den wan ke dollar fiu man ai lo everywhere ke ran mane dang lo den di wi bi ko ya yo lo ke chak ke e ngo ke go ke ne ke lo ku jot ku boku mat ke tin won te ta ku yin so kwen ke wi ku ka ne kene so yen kede wun ku ke wijot kede wun ku wijot a chanen wun ku e pa ni chi ta ba ni nge pa nun te e chin ke tatin ke male lakin wun ku ke pa ni chen ke county a ke tong na 2013 en chop kwa jeten a chi tong ke on kok pe lakin ten ke te chen aka de yot ko ne de ma sai pa kwa de school jalata da kumo ataw ting ku junu ba Sudan da ban ke dola ane kin ko won te lo big jala ben big jal bo ko nyu chi ten ku chi ke be jal da ku pi da lo kene ngo kene wane kene ngo so kene ke yene rane muksule ko ka ke ala bi le ke wer ke la ki unit kene kule ki be pe na pale ko bu ko gore bu ko lo ten re ka le ki wan chi ke lo le ka ku mo kren de ki mi yan wi ngun kino ba welen en ko ji le nun te chi to on ko lo ku nyu cho bu ko we ku nyu ko a ku bi yo ga di kene chin yong le bien yo ga ku mo lo ya ma ira ni ne de target ade ki ye wi ten ban wi bu ge ke ga ge man wa lo ka tum e inglab lo ke wo lo within ka tum na ki ko men yo ki nu wan bu ben no ko fa le kene ke primitive kene ke bilier kene ne kene bai so yen ran wona ne bandi dun ta to bandi bai shoke la dum bi kene dial tingi tanen county wi bi yi ku cha wi bi lo ten we yi gi piu so on ga to ga chi gane yen an ko je ten ku yin che le ma yi kun de ran ala bi de ran ta wi ben lu id ben lu share ko ala bi ben yen an ko ga che le
Adiga bio as I yogo be okibe get a pay just a critical overview the share the will court one chiban jam ke kwen okay guka yoga by most of the jam very important item there that no pet ko leaders which book I would have presented in such a way that no because ngaja ting koi kok pay and if you look at the presentation one low even yeah, and it is very unique than the other presentation, Chicago law, other chief administrative areas, which you governor even. You know, in KK well gachan dan kego. A chief plagiarism, but a home won't have been present. Jenga kri student chuma no re kren yenda no melo at the presentation ke lo ya there is casual communication in ke kwan pya yin communication is skill in order to present yourself and yani in a PowerPoint lo ku wele ko PowerPoint you don't read the PowerPoint jenga ke jat ke danichol awla ne lo it is not the whole package it is not the whole message in a government ke awla and ku kan be. And I think that's why it's very important and competent leaders should be put in place. When we are okay, competent, who got a work experience, and who can present in such a way that no be quite a big now, be quite good pin big now. And that's what we need from the leaders. And teach all leaders, take all feedback, sharp the week, and what you loy. And so he's trying to present what he has done. And kujula chairman ben by la aywe chan by tingedi then ko kene ene lon leaders kan ku leader ke klaning is just away challenges when we and face then ke very complex and ke chigni and kwan ne ko chan no big engage go ka de no ta bi loy chi bi loy bi ya lo gurok long gurok ten and ene pian ne ko no ne je ne ke ko kiela pai kuka yoga ruwen a short present in such a way that le very time forever kile mugro reto en kiye ku man te ko ko kenon chi ko ro ba guten gur ngaro ten u jalwe lai che ko la ke ten ko ne ba chilwe e ba chilwe le ne ka fal ke junubin fanen de ko bi la fiat yi exactly ko chi romman le kin kene scenario kene ne chu bulo u ka ruwen a chan bo lo ngot kule la kai ke jo ting bi ko ban ti wa le la ka chi jal kwa le o tse that so what is the reason why they move away from the from unity state lakin ale urano kene ene changa in chia independent jal kwin chola chokwi kwa yok ruwen achi ade ki bill ge lwelon kulela what is the difference between foreign kujala rich enga elwele yen ran ngongen ran wi bukat ke luya buto ke luya bito wadil ke de ke luya bes kurana chingong ke nan bera no ka chan bi kwat ne different ga that's the different in chiti aldam fat ku in chi lui you are very big criminal so ke lo me lo ten ke dik de ka chan ma me lo wonin ku ke de long nom ne different between rich and poor kurang len bukwet kle ke lui whether jogana gin ki lui ki to we ka kona big ba dong man do that's a simple difference between poor and rich nga ti kino chok pin kin jida du mana adu ken ka cha du ke me these are the criminals nga ku majority of the criminals ke ka yone lan won chinim kan ke ulo e gang in order to rap chan bi nga ga room ten group nga ten ku jolo ran ni kwa the ke definition of criminal ka lakin criminal ke de deterrent ke tawro ga the introduction of the police officers it is the result of the criminals in police ke fio chan via linne de chwe tawro ga kwa en ke chikini kwen ga on chene lwel kule yen ayen Bill Gates nyandu non ki nga nang ran la na chingong ki le bitya gole ga chi bitya kale lwel ga chi bitya maybe ran len won ta chin ke token le bu go ka tan ke lottery dan ke le kulu win maybe 300 million en ki lo win mana ke ran na chingong len chu kwet ken e cho ran na chingong chu kwet de chin wo je e daman tin kan le ki ran len won ta cha chingong en nga kaja luye chan bi jokwet ku cha ke to ke 300 en chi yok 300 million ke ran ne le tie ga chan na luye chan bi jokwet ko the difference between ran luye chan bi jokwet ke gran chi lor la win mana chi ngonga de chin we je ke len ke we yo ke tin lakin to bene lo use baden abu ngor ke ngam ya tawra. So this is the difference between us ku jola ko ruwe nga chan bi wo ban riyo ko do luye chan bu kwet kuran le chi ngong thana wi bi wo ban dot pe chan bi ko ban jot en ke me lo ban chagrin pe ku che ge yan rin pe kwa chi gerin ki mana lan jal barin wala ga chi gerin geren ku le ke gerin ki ke gerin ku jo ku ta tan ku lo gram ki dian jalo dan chi lo distracted. That's the difference. And ayen pin ni jinu Sudan yan pin di di japai na je tege tayra nyala tan ku ting pin pinya di ka war ka nyin ka ja ku je ke ko la ke ku pin tin la nyamam aran ke do la yigi ngana ma turi ja to ka chan be bi lo yen ke da den ga or ke do la yigi ma tu to you don't even know the risk living yogoten mana ke lo chin yo yigi ja to tan ki ne ran ne jan no. Well, we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to be taught. I mean, and we have a lot of things to teach these people. Our people we became sensitized. I mean, and about the dynamic of the situation in overall all over the world. Get out again. Yen when we are really chale ja pay di dago. Ruang ke mat ke le la tweng dere. Feedback do ke 100%. This is example that should be followed by ran ben ba den we chok be dam to ten. Okay, na la gas house len to ba den ku jala yen resident meta governor ko yani we are che chi ngana yani ruwa nga che ngana che idara ke ngana ke state it has to be established nga kwa yoga ka chi ban we okay lo man tine. Imagine kichi 321 health workers across the idara ruwa ngaban ai ka ban card pin wana ka ki manadam nga kuna chwa ke pin ki de pin la kala yo to lem de le to lem tin kan mis kana chin cham ki so che ke incorporated into the payroll system de bata hukuma da nganan akuma de idara the can make gamia good and they have to continue big lui ko sa because it mis ruwen kenga which is very 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 significant. It's the same thing Mr. One chot wa chan big up here ko kwa ke ba ngana ke ba chai wai achin an be again dom ke le ran chot time ngila de lentin go ke buy into the payroll system. The question is the join na tie when ki de jo ban we yong no ko ngo chi ko wan ke yok that ke yila no we. Well, ma they are using the local resources. Kai ban bi to the UN. Kai ban bi to the ajwetine educanti ke lo ran. Ku jola tairat ko ge nyu ida effort kwa nyu kia juang to kan ngabe ka ke kut ko. Ma these are local resources ku jaho ko ge nya do ja ku no ni ban tem ko ken. Ke wenga. Kene ke ban in term of dollar, kene ke ban be de we ku an gi junu. Enga. Kwera nenam ku we ka de capacity dan wan man wan lu en ko ki UNDP ko ki UNDP ke ko ki UN development kenga ko ki UN development ke ki ban on ke 7 critical potential security human security enga the personal ku ja community political health environmental yan ka ke ban security ke yan lu ke identify ku ja learn is the issue with the resources. And human land money is affecting our community. So learn a kilo can a permanent conflict once I live because I provoke in order to fight. And I cannot anything your jar pin never at all. Quick and a video con para and pay. And Yeran kwa kiko con che that to tong talk maybe I come to Yapong Lloyd. kwa we o chakale we kwa kwon ba ben o kida jam pe u by Moses Dawood in chule ka yoga Dawood ke lui comment about the comment that you have air out in ban yelo ke chen lui comment ki le bichol kwa ye
Okay.
da da in nin chu chol ku ya kwa ko to la ni ten na yoga chiran lui request chan bi ben kwa yoga long the ke jam tin ke ye ngan critical overview one presentation one ki ban wi chi loy en ke be ku cha de ku ka yoga en ke first one te tuen ku jok ben jam e cho ka en u chu kele bien en chi ba jam ayo ga ni jam pa en ku ku kai ku ru en ya we kai ku an wan ku ru en je tiam ni ga nga juan muk e je tiam re fa ke tiam re ke de ke tin man one e kai ril dit ko an te e ke gen ke u real en a ke e che real tong ke u real de kai de go e kai so kai ga ki ja la to so na de ra ne lwel de go bia de chan bia ben ke yam den tu go ben ge de go de ni tawe cho ma ke lo lu ne en nga ke lo lu a yi ran ben de nam londe ke ta ra ke ne ka na lwe ne ke ka le po de pin ke de pin ka de ka yo de le po en nga tung to ka klen wan mu a do di ken amuk to ke na tung den e tung de ken en nga kwa de ko re len de ko ril kok to man on chi gak da go che ngan che dang che gen we pin ku wel ki tok de len tin ki ke be ben te ko kwon go ba de ko che ngen ko re kwen ka to gi de nga cha ten chi ge tok long no we tok te na ka chin te ko ji de che yes ke we je ke en nga na e no e le de ko bi az ki ye da to ki te na e to ngan wi ko ka to ki ro wa to ki okay en nga na e pye jen wi ki ka yo go more than anybody else within ki wan chol western national ko guru en chi pye more than anybody en nga ku ka de mi kon cho tem bin tan ki le len tong bi ga lo ku mi ken chi pye they have to go to school che ta ra ga a che ru en te ken ke ru en pe ki yo ba ben en nga yen ban mi lawn che le ku wo ku dir tyo le ku jo chat ke en chi ba jam ke non ban en tyo
Yeah, I quit I. Memin chi I kichulu elten ne teka awana no we taban kudu kran tine lwele kane kidi. Ti yo go ni ko junu bino go there. You assume that the kin in you work for it. Ka yo ko chinda bu ko mit kur mitira kan bu ka encourage chan bi ga mu deng in se bi ke cholo la wona ga junu ba ka da go there. Whether the apio the kidali ni rane yine lwel kulwel yene yani woting yani kai ran te chinom otor an chinom yi elo the ke lwele chiran chinom yi jinu chiman wan chien ba bi 32 state e ngani chidong we chinom pe an chidong no we gi chinom state wan e nga so ke lo the kene lakin ke lo bu lo taban eh a wich bu wok da o ko wen o jeng da du jeng da do ke la mo ko o wel ke lo rot kene a chi u be thong nom ke la mo ko lo flip ku be ko nyo ko chi de ka ke u ko kon u mit bi la wona ga because yen no an ke chol country real ke workforce un ta chi pyo ja de ke chi lo el tan on lo ga school ku lo yen len to ga high school ran ba ne ko chi to ga high school ke lo je ji ba ne ke lo di chi lo je ke lo police ke la no because you're capable, you know how to write, you know how to speak. I think really documentation doesn't matter. So yeah, now country area, like country with yani population, which huge young population, which huge. Human one thing and Juba Luan graduate, which hit 500 and Mikonaga, yeah, Kipia. You know, one a kid call over Katum that one Sudan, like a pet, and the opportunity can like he in Jacoda knock. Ya na de gra ante je wona ga wade ka quick ke kala duni ulo la ina elbe de kana ina we blow rule out chana go mita o ere those area chi ga blow abuse bila wona ga see because ogbugat ran bana wich bugan mi wich bigara ka bin ja determine ga your ability na bin determine lakini kila an biran pena chan chi bugat ting o ruwen o ko tyo go juro pay ake ke o gieng cha nom ni gieng ke nom ril no kida ba sibila ite won ke sudan ki cha ri ak that je dom kwe domen je dom bi ko kwenye ye kwen de gol te me tui cho rang kana bi ko kwenye ye lon chulu a chulu wa ne ena ki a sibila ena ki met ju ka tir lakin bi ko kwenye ye ka to kwe nyen ten le bi god ri tui le chok ablo me lwal long di gieng kene la kai kai ri te dan to ne no kai ka bi mu ya o la kai kai fa do ge ke juri ge ra tin e ngo kene kuna chuk dab gamon katum ke 45 minutes ero tin compare ke juba so kida blue civilized more than kai kok aketo ke ya kai ke leader yani to kulonye ke wek kwa chira antit ke le bing ma te na pin chol go be pin ko ke nyat so yen ga ke tok do kula ke tit so wo kai kruwen taban leader de talk wo leader ki spiritual ko ki spiritual taban ade ki chik loy kwen ga wan le ok bai ke chol ko du fan gen le ok do kien biag de na chik loy ke to ke sabie wona ne culture da ko ni ke chol loy ki pi ting nuan ye ben janim ko won chi agwel tong ni ju ke ko ke to yani ko ke to we le lu yin la de pe la re te pe a leadership ke liu no ko ki ruwen lakini wi ku bu loy biel lazim bug leadership bu loy biel leadership ability bu loy biel a chanen a gomit a go kala wona ga I think ran ji pyo jin ke de ngi chin pyo in ke ku ngi chan pyo je tegi pyo won yani binen ngi je ngo kudu ko ngo ke de ngek for example man tin gane chi man tawon ten kene ruwen ku pyo je ke ku lu ke graduate ko yu le ke police bi ke lo train they will act appropriately because le big lu ke ko le big ran lo ke ngi a chi lu taw ke raun te lo ke kang ba ni ko da bi de bru le bi ke de di ti when ge pyo jin ken dik yi ba ne man area dun te to high school ke ye week I ko ke area ken ke ya po mostly crime ke di tin so ruwen ke la dem bu go shopping because yen ko ja week bi ke alo ko lu ke replace raun te ko ke lu replace ko won te de ngi ki ting transition go lo slowly so waka yok okay okay so waka yok ben we o chugule chale jenen be that in lo kichloy and pure miet I think wo ko chira na 100% so ayen biag den chi lew I think kuran pe be ben wadan kol wadan a bit biag de obe loy taban chi ko won ma chi ma yi wer mat kon wani jal ban ni ran len kan ko queen ki ya cham yan to yin kin la ma ji win chem en ka wan cho lo do kan ban kon wan ji lo tuen lakini chin mi kilo there so many opportunity bi ran ruwen bi lo serve in different ways ai chak ba business lo ran lo lo ting to chi de kan wa le ju ke ga ya chan yin dang chi cover de e nyin pya de chi lo cover de ko da chan in beginning a chi thong ga ke lo chi ko lo tuen so beginning ke de dak en ka wan en to ye ke ga le ju ke ga ya lo nang den chi lui kwa nya ku bu yin mat u be mat not only bu ko jai u be mat chan bu lui bu yani bu go shopping a chan ni na de ki chating ka lo ten man ta ban chan ni cha go shopping ku pyo ki rot ka wege real gabila tini cho London ba thwa chol gabila dola tini cho London kene ade ke de ni chi ka kuna wa ni chol ka ni chol yu wa chi bela ben bi tin wan chi bela ben bi tin why wan chi ka nim kut ade quite could how to do the a chicken kadin ngai lo dik aba den financial la riak kule ken mad way ken wan chi wo ben miet bi kule lo ki ba pa dun because yen yani they know what they are doing. Lakin some of the others saban they do what they corruption ngo ben na dit so ba den ke economic la lu ko la kun le lu ko la ba la ka ba we so wo ko ki ruwen ke la dem bu ki de ko ke because on rate and ke we could get transition we book low and I believe 100% overall 10 I think overall 10 so yen am ko 10 ku ka bu ku tiyo
Moses in challenge in challenge ne kedon chule leadership bill and kwa yoke one of the most important thing that you put at the end of your comment and ga wana garang mabio ping we kwai kwa garang mabio ke very charismatic leader lakini ya ne leader tika nyang ping ke bio la ke ya ki ke aliu ki ka wan chi vai nam lo ria ria kan kwa yen in ban wi ya kana ping leaders are built ko ruwe ngade ko yunte ade ki chip ko dite ko je leaders the deal young people when big law leadership kana we be pure we be train pya buro di da bai ku chol ke ku jam ki tong jeng ke en ga en ke to the leaders they ke build police officer they are built professional police chan ma chakala je wolo mar boda so mantina they have to be recorded achi we be galo ko mojran pa tu ku ka chi record in place kwa yo ban Moses in chale ko butso wo kai ku andai en ga kare jam na kan ku wo bu jo ga yo yen wo ku kale thank you very much. Let me just put the song and we
Hola, que yo que yo lo ya que voy bye. Into